You're scrolling through your phone at 11 p.m. A notification pops up. Your heart rate spikes before you even read it. Why does a tiny buzz of light and sound make your chest tighten like something is actually wrong? The honest answer is far stranger than stress or bad habits. Your brain isn't reacting to a notification, it's reacting to a predator. It just doesn't know the difference. For most of your existence as a species, something in the grass really was watching you. A rustle in the leaves, a shadow moving wrong, a silence where there should have been birdsong. Your ancestors who noticed these things survived. The ones who didn't get to pass anything on. So the brain you're using right now, the one reading this sentence, was built by generations of near misses. You inherited a threat detector, and it is still switched on. Let's start with your eyes, because this is where the story gets strange fast. In 2007, researchers Joshua New, Leda Cosmades, and John Tooby ran a series of visual search experiments. They flashed complex scenes at people, hiding a single changed object somewhere in the frame, and timed how fast subjects noticed the change. Across every version of the test, one category of object jumped out faster than anything else. Not cars, not tools, not even other people. Animals. Specifically, animals that could be dangerous. Your visual system, without asking your permission, prioritizes anything shaped like a threat before you're even consciously aware you're looking at it. This isn't learned behavior. Babies show versions of it before they've had time to learn much of anything. It's wiring, old wiring. Why animals specifically? Here's where it gets even older. Primatologist Lynn Isbell proposed something called the snake detection theory, and the idea is almost uncomfortable in how simple it is. For tens of millions of years, early primates lived alongside venomous snakes. Snakes that struck fast, silently, and often fatally. Isbell's research suggests this pressure didn't just shape behavior, it shaped the visual cortex itself. Primates with sharper snake detection ability lived longer, bred more, passed on eyes that flinched first and thought second. You are, quite literally, looking at the world through eyes built by ancient snakes. So what does any of this have to do with your phone buzzing at 11 p.m.? Your brain doesn't have a separate alarm system for modern problems. It has one alarm system, inherited from the savanna, and it fires for everything. A notification, an unread email, a missed call from a number you don't recognize. None of these are predators, but they trigger the exact same ancient circuitry that once scanned the tall grass for movement. Here's a question worth sitting with. What actually happens in your body during that spike? Your amygdala, a small almond-shaped cluster of neurons buried deep in your brain, fires before your rational thinking even catches up. This isn't a metaphor. Studies using brain imaging show the amygdala activating in milliseconds, well before the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for calm, reasoned judgment, has a chance to weigh in. Your body prepares to run or fight before your mind has even finished the sentence, "It's probably nothing." That gap between the alarm and the explanation is where anxiety lives. And it gets worse when you consider how the brain weighs bad news against good news. Psychologist Roy Baumeister, along with his colleagues, published research often summarized by a simple, blunt phrase: bad is stronger than good. Across dozens of studies, negative events, negative feedback, and negative information consistently produce stronger, faster, and longer-lasting psychological effects than positive ones of equal size. One harsh comment outweighs 5 kind ones. One threatening headline outlasts a dozen reassuring ones in your memory. This isn't pessimism, it's architecture. Think about what that architecture was built for. In an environment where missing a real threat could mean death, and missing a reward just meant a missed meal, the math was simple. Overreacting to danger costs you a little energy. Underreacting to danger costs you your life. So evolution built a brain that would rather sound 100 false alarms than miss one real one. That trade-off made perfect sense 50,000 years ago. Does it still make sense now? You don't live in the grasslands anymore. Your predators today rarely have teeth. They have subject lines, they have push notifications, they have comment sections. But your nervous system doesn't check the calendar before it responds. It just responds the same way it always has, because as far as your amygdala is concerned, nothing important has changed. This is why doom scrolling feels almost impossible to stop. Each new alarming headline gives your ancient alarm system exactly what it evolved to look for. Not comfort, not resolution, movement in the grass. And so you keep scrolling, not because you enjoy it, but because some deep old part of you is still checking whether the danger has passed. Consider your last argument with someone you love. Did it escalate faster than it should have? Under real or perceived threat, blood flow shifts away from areas responsible for nuance and nonverbal reading, and rational, big-picture thinking becomes harder to access. You are, in that heated moment, running on hardware optimized for deciding whether to fight or flee a predator, not hardware optimized for reading tone in a text message. No wonder misunderstandings spiral. You're not overreacting. You're using the only alarm system you've got, and it wasn't built for subtlety. So here's the modern mirror, the part of this that should feel a little uncomfortable. Every time your chest tightens over an email that turned out to be nothing, that's not a personal failing. That's an ancient survival system doing exactly what kept your ancestors alive, just aimed at the wrong target. Every time you can't stop refreshing a feed full of bad news, that's not weakness. That's the same circuitry that once scanned the horizon for smoke or movement, now scanning a screen instead. Does knowing this change anything? It won't turn off the alarm. You can't switch off millions of years of wiring by reading about it. But it can change what you do with the next spike of dread you feel over something small. You can notice it, name it, and ask a simple question. Is this actually a predator, or is this just a notification wearing one? Your ancestors needed to see the snake in the grass before it saw them. You don't have that problem anymore. But you still have their eyes, their amygdala, their alarm bells, all wired into a body sitting in a world those systems were never designed for. Tonight, when your phone buzzes at 11 p.m., notice the spike before you even open the screen. That flicker of dread isn't really about the message. It's about the grass and whether something in it is still watching you. So the next time your chest tightens over nothing, you don't have to fight it. You just have to recognize it for what it is. An old system doing an old job in a world it was never built for. If this changed the way you think about your own alarm bells, you know what to do. Subscribe, and next time, you'll look a little closer at the ancient mind hiding inside your modern one.